Hi, chat. How we doing tonight? There we go. Now the mic's working with me. Hello, everyone. Hello, Will. Hello, JK. Hello, Nan Reader. Welcome in, Cosmic. Happy to see you, Michael. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're still making noise. Why are you still making noise? I guess I was late getting the kettle ready. Oops. And I'm still trying to create fires over here because I'm drying out my pan that I'm probably going to be making dinner in tonight. I bought a tomato at Walmart today. I haven't tested. It's a Roma tomato. It's not. Thinking I have my board camera on already, but it's just. I'm actually sort of torn whether I really want to use that tonight or not. I'm going to, but I sort of feel like pinçage is really the way to go and not tomato, but tomato's in the recipe. So maybe we'll do both? To be honest, it was entirely just because I was already there. It was Roma tomato. It wasn't like I was looking for something exotic or summer heirloom or something. I still didn't show the board. I was supposed to show the board earlier. Whoops. I'm just messing all sorts of stuff off to start off stream here tonight, folks. Yeah, my worry is I'm actually like, do I take out the long-term stuff too? Like, this is pretty ridiculous, and it's not sounding like it's going to be any better tomorrow. Got more tariffs coming in on Wednesday. They've done a whole bunch of different, very similar ones. I don't know who the original person was. I haven't found, like, the one that made mine, that company doesn't it's one of those, you know, funky letter Chinese companies that changes with their ratings. Not for long. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. I had to think about that one for a second. Thank you for joining me. Cheers. Sugary coffee needed. Beef. We need to get beef cooking. You have to type !! scramble for each entry for the bot to be looking for you to be guessing. Oh, please. Salt, pepper, MSG, garlic, and oil. I like them or hate them. One of the other major users of presidential orders very much changed America into what it is today, in many ways. You like highways? But then again, I also get a lot of my stuff between Eisenhower and Roosevelt confused. I wasn't around for it. Hey, Master Slits. If you want to follow the exact recipe, oops, wrong camera. If you want to follow the exact recipe, it is up on the webs. You can easily find it with a quick search. There's a PDF. I'm not exactly following it for several reasons. One, it's a pretty simple, basic recipe for a beef stew, and I've got some things that I can throw in there and slightly make it my way. The other one is the original recipe is enormous. It's an original recipe for 60 servings. And they have a smaller version. I'm like cutting the small version in half. So I'm also going to do a few things a little different from the original recipe. The original recipe has you basically cooking everything together and then pulling the majority of the liquid off and thickening it and adding it back in. Instead, what I am going to do is I am going to make my beef, get my beef going. It's going to be cooking in liquid. We're going to then cook the veggies to the side, add the roux to the veggies, and add the veggies in there together. Well, he also used MSG, so the recipe has accent in it. It says salt, pepper, and accent, which is a U.S. product that it's essentially MSG. Yeah, I'm debating. I think I need to open a bottle of wine after the last couple of days. And so we're going to add a touch of wine into this, which is not a part of his original beef stew. And I might use the spinach I've got in the fridge. I don't know how it's looking. I don't know how it's been in there a minute. If it's still usable, we're going to throw that in there just to sort of use it up. Maybe I will do all the veggies in there too, because the potatoes have got to go for a while. Do I overcook the veggies and get the cooking depth of flavor, or no? We'll do them separate. There's a couple of things there that I'm not 100% sure on what they are too. Like, he lists Irish potatoes, which in my mind I'm thinking Redskins. I have both Yukons and Russets in the house to use up. I'm probably going to use the Yukons. I'm now remembering and realizing you're asking if I like Ike because that was his political campaign too. I didn't go with specifically prime round. I just got beef stew mix from the butcher. I'm okay with Ike. On one hand, I'm okay with... I like a lot of the stuff that I think of him when I think of his name. On the other hand, I feel like I don't really know near enough. Yeah, I knocked that over after carefully. Because of Roosevelt. I spent a lot of time, actually, when I was in college at the Roosevelt Estate. It's right there near the school. It was there's actually a sort of secluded drive down to the Hudson, and he had like a gazebo, or they built a gazebo right down by the river on his property. Am I putting these back in the same bowl that I have the raw meat in? Yes. But I'm gonna boil that beef for like 2 hours. Are you really worried about it getting cross-contaminated? I really should zoom in on this scene. Let's fix this. That's a little better. How many people have seen an I like Ike button? I'm gonna make up some better than bouillon beef stock here. Or beef bouillon, because it's technically still bouillon. Nope. I've seen them before. Beef stock, much like the chicken stock I make on stream pretty regularly, is the same sort of ordeal, only longer cook time. It's traditionally it's veal bone and not beef. But at home, you're gonna, veal bones are primarily a, restaurant thing here in the U.S. You don't really, mostly veal bones come from dairy producers. So, and dairy producers sell to fast food, actually. Yeah, but beef shanks are hugely overpriced for what I want to use. I mean, I want bones. But yes, you can use beef shanks from the store. You can use oxtail if you can find it cheap. It's hugely pricey now. Whatever you can really find as far as cheap beef. But you don't really want the meat, you want the bones. The beef is going to give you a lot of foam, it's going to give you a lot of impurities because it's an older animal that's been around for a bit compared to, say, a chicken. And that's the other thing with it, is you got to typically cook a veal or a beef stock. Instead of chicken being at least 6 hours, you want to do at least 8 hours on beef. Maybe even closer to 10. And so you're purposely making a very flavorful liquid. You got to consider stocks, broths, and bouillon are really all terms for the same thing originally. Modern day bouillon is more like the cubes and the dried powders that you do to emulate a stock. But the traditional definition of it is essentially a stock created for a single recipe. It's a very specific stock. And then you got broths, which most people say broth instead of stock these days, at least in the US. You go down the supermarket aisle and all the stocks are labeled broth. But broth or brodo is more of an Italian thing in my mind, and is more of the giant estate putting all of the scraps, all of the cuts, all of the excess stuff that's starting to go, and turning it into something they can use more on the farm. Whereas the original stock, old school stock, I think of being more like French royalty, extreme high-end dining, where they're doing the same sort of thing as an estate, but they're doing it like a business. Welcome in, M1. Yeah, I've used hanger steaks on stream before. I don't have any right now, but they take a bit more butchering, but they're beautifully tender beef. We're gonna add, 3 cups water to our consomme here, or our consomme, our better than bouillon. Oh, you're all out of kilter. So this is going to be our base cooking liquid for with our stew tonight. It's better than bouillon with water, and now I am adding soy, lemon for acidity, Worcestershire, And fish sauce. That was maybe a teaspoon of Worcestershire and a half teaspoon of fish sauce. Like, not a lot on those. And there's still a bit of bouillon in there breaking down. We'll wait for that to come up to a boil. Have a coffee sip break. So have I royally confused everyone on the subject of stock now, or did I actually answer that question with all my rambling? Simple answer, flavorful cooking liquid, unless you want to be a food geek like me. Okay, flame back on the other side of the stove. No, that would be, in my mind, more a jus or a pot liquor. Pot liquor's more for greens and beans and stuff like that, but well, I make most of mine M1, but you can also buy, you know, the Better Than Bouillon or the Knorr bouillon cubes, and dissolve them in water, or they do sell it in stores, but typically they sell it in quarts, half gallons. I forget which. But I make it at home as far as chicken stock and then freeze it. This is going to turn to ice because I'm moving it now. It's been sitting in the freezer since I froze it. Let's see if we can get it on camera freezing. Well, it's still not. I mean, it's like slushy. I know it's gonna solidify on me, but... Oh yeah, Marco's definitely in Knorr's little black book. We're going to go back over the other side of the stove here now. Turn the heat off on the liquid. And we're going to add our beef back in here. And we'll add our stock over the top of that. Got a little of that bouillon stuck on the bottom, so give it a little rinse out. So we're turning that down because we want this to essentially, we want it to bubble, but we want it to be barely bubbling. We want it just above a simmer. We don't want it rolling. We don't want it going crazy. We just want it lightly bubbling and cooking. And from here, we're going to get into other things, because the beef has to cook for a while before we have to get into veggies. And so, I'm going to switch over to making some dinner rolls. So we'll get some yeast here, waking up. Because I'm feeling like it will enrich this a bit. And give this 20 seconds in the microwave. You know, Chad, I think Reddit's really trying to get me to get a cat. Reddit, I think, is trying to get me a cat, and Blue Sky thinks I only am interested in pizza. It's getting better with the pizza thing, though. We don't want this too hot for our yeasties. 120, that's fine. It's on the upper end. Yeah, let's give that a moment to cool down a couple degrees. No, I'm not doing anything these days, M1. I have the ability to do some of it, but I got royally disheartened, at least with the local area, as far as trying to run a business in the food world. But I love living here. It's expensive, but that's about the only thing that's bad about it. Earthquakes, wildfires. It's expensive in a lot of ways that people see and think about more than is really, like, in many ways, Texas is more expensive than California. It's just the areas that people talk about and think about in finances, they complain about California. And when they're referring to Eisenhower, who was known as Ike, his presidential campaign was "I like Ike." And he is the running theme behind tonight's dinner. That's almost not worth saving. I'm gonna save it though. That's like maybe a quarter cup of flour. So chat, maybe we should start a poll. I wish I could do that quickly and easily. Actually, I don't know if I need a poll for that one. I don't think I'm going to use the other one. I was thinking I had a Pinot. We're going with Zinfandel tonight, chat. I was going to ask chat whether I should go with Pinot or Zinfandel. And then I went and looked over there, and I've got 2 Zinfandels and a Merlot. I don't want a Merlot with tonight's dinner. Hi, Penta. Between Pinot and Zinfandel, maybe. Merlot to me is just so fruity compared to the other two. It's not a very fruity wine. Don't think it's a fruity... I'm saying comparatively. It's not Beaujolais or something. We'll add our yeasties, butter, and water. And half, in with our bread flour. Anyone go out and see the Minecraft movie? It's apparently doing amazing and breaking all sorts of expectations. When I use MSG, I am using Ajinomoto, the Japanese brand that coined MSG, essentially. Accent is an American version of it. There's a number of other ones similar to Accent out there. And there's also a whole bunch of, like, a lot of the soup-based stuff is essentially MSG too, whether it's the mushroom or the chicken soup-based stuff. Hey, Kip. Sorry to hear that, M1. Yeah, I'm sort of in that same camp, Kip, where movie, home theater, definite possibility. Waiting for it to be at home theater with everyone talking about it, How you doing, Ozzy? Happy Sunday to you. I was actually sort of surprised at some of it. Some of it, like the big landscapes and stuff, it's just hard to do that sort of stuff. I don't know if I'm in love with the changes they're making to Minecraft, too. Though. Like, I'm really on the edge about this new mob they're adding here this summer. It's gonna have all sorts of changes to the game that basically makes regular Minecraft into creative. We're going to allow that to proof. I guess we got a bunch of dirty bowls already. Shouldn't make it feel burned. Be more afraid of what was in those clams. A little oil over the top to keep it from drying out. Maybe we should throw this one into chat here. What was I going over here for? Onion. We're gonna start in on our veggie chopping for tonight. Ooh, do we throw some... What are these, chanterelles? What do I have? Porcinis? Do I throw some porcinis in there, chat? Tomato paste, maybe spinach. I'm not doing the order of operation the same as his recipe either. I'm not bringing out sauce to thicken it. I'm going to cook my veggies separate from the beef and add them with my thickener to finish. So leathery. Fine, we'll cut you this way. Reverse. Not happy with these white onions. They over dried. Got too many layers of curing on them. I really need to stop buying onions where I bought these. I've been complaining for years about these onions and still buy them. Yep, M1, that's the one I use. For just straight. That's where you get into some confusion over it. I actually have the bag here. Like, this is straight MSG. Like, monosodium glutamate. There is a laundry list of similar compounds that all give you different parts to the whole party. And so there's two other major ones that I don't know off the top of my head. And then there's all of the ones like nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast. Yep, we're doing potatoes, onions, carrots. I've got celery. I'm gonna do Yukon potatoes, and then, like I said, maybe some spinach. You seem to have lost our boil here. It's still a simmer. Oh, these are going in there too. I forgot I had those. So we'll do a red carrot, or a purple carrot, and an orange carrot. Being a little carrot heavy. Actually, maybe we'll just do the red carrot. There's a lot of carrot. Did you look at the recipe, Spitz? Yeah, it's to serve 60. Yeah, we'll just do the red carrot here. This is going to be enough. I'm pretty sure it's from his estate. Which, same thing, I mean... Sure, they just take a while. I'm not a huge fan of them because I don't want to sit there and pick through them. I like a lot of the gelatinous meats and stuff like that as long as they can actually be cooked until they're tender. There's a fair number of them that can't and won't, and I could care less for those. Yeah, I don't need no face cheese or anything like that. Head cheese. No eyeballs. Let's see, these mushrooms still usable. So we're adding mushrooms too, chat. I know, chat's over here. I keep looking up here to talk to chat. You're over here. We got some oysters and shiitakes that are getting up there from when I made stock. Get rid of the heavy stems there. They're great for stock, but not for this. And we're gonna chop these pretty finely. Okay, those are the oysters. This is a lot of shiitake. I'm not going to use all these shiitakes. I'm taking all the stems off the shiitakes because they're very fibrous compared to the rest of the mushroom. We'll leave those with that. prior to all the Army's standardized recipes, I wouldn't be shocked if this was one of the original ones. And he just like, we'll take it from the Army back home. But it is the official one from their estate. Maz, thank you for the resub. 32 months. Been a minute now. Thank you. Okay, where are we with things? The rest of these are going back in the fridge. Good with all of that. I think we just got the tomato to deal with now. So we're adding mushrooms, we're adding tomato paste. And we're adding vino. Well, I think, is the celery originally in there either? I don't remember if that is or not. I know the carrots and the onions are. This has to be among one of the firmest Roma tomatoes I have ever cut in my life. This thing could maybe pass for fiberboard in some places. Exactly, Michael. This is smelling yummy. This is smelling like, you know that... How many of you out there in chat have gone to like a cafeteria style place that's like got the prime rib or the roast beef going on and the entire place just reeks of beef? That's that smell right now. That's my kitchen smell right now. It's quite lovely in here. Got to do the scramble exclamation mark scramble too, Michael. Wow, you really rushed that one. Bread is looking lovely. The beef is cooking along nicely. Get all this going. I think this might be a good hang out, take a break period here. Allow that beef to cook here for another 20 minutes or so. So I think I'm going to set a timer and we're going to have a 20-minute AFK here with the beef bubbling. We'll come back and we'll start sauteing everything. We'll get the veggies all cooking. We'll get... I'll do that before we go for our AFK. So we got one more thing to do before I go AFK. We got to chop up a potato or two. Hey, Muskeg. I'm gonna cut up a potato or two now. I think that's on par with it. I don't want to overload it with potato. What you looking at, camera? Why ain't you... Camera's fighting me tonight. I don't know why Son of Wiggles is fighting me tonight. But I have to keep telling it to follow me, and it stops following me. Nice. What you cleaning, Cosmic? What you getting done? I had a productive cleaning day the other day. I gotta clean the Roomba again. Nice. Just using this pan or this pot since I already got it dirty. Alright, folks. We're going to give that 20 minutes to simmer. Oh, lightly bubble. We got our carrot, onion, celery, tomato, and mushroom all ready to saute up when we come back. Welcome in, Alex. I apologize we're going on a short break here as you're coming in. But I'll see all your lovely faces here in a little over 18 minutes to continue dinner. Welcome back, chat. Hello, hello. Okay, so next steps. Let's get our potatoes out of here. Let's move everything off the cutting board for the moment. I am going to add a bit of water to our beef here and turn the heat up so that it comes back to a boil. That's another cup of water. We've probably cooked off more than a cup at this point. That was pretty low. Like, that looks almost like where it was when I started. Next steps. Hey, pizza. We be making beef stew tonight. I didn't put that away right, but oh well. We're gonna need you. Am I adventurous or do I go for an old? Let's go for the old and known. I'm not looking to be exciting tonight, I don't think. Choosing between Zinfandels. Hey, Terminator. Yeah, those things are full of all sorts of junk. Ugh. Like, I didn't mind doing it once, but I wouldn't want. Yeah. Maybe if at the end of the world, like, that's what they're. That was a hefty pour by restaurant standards. That's pour and a half. This is a big glass, chat. But to give you some idea on the color, I try to do this with a white background to give you some idea, but the camera's never going to give you the full color. I love Zinfandels. So now we're in an ad break, so I can talk about it a little bit more, I think. This is all sorts of berries. I've had this on stream, I think, at least 3 times now. All sorts, for Zinfandel, there's all sorts of fruit in this. But it's also got those other lovely, leathery, tanniny, barnyardy almost, like peppery notes. There's definitely some barrel spice there. I sort of think of Zinfandels as some of the brighter ones. Like, I would consider this a brighter Zinfandel. Zinfandels, I sort of think of them as the smoking man's room's library type drink. Like, you get tobacco, you get barnyard scents, you get you know you're drinking something. But this one's also got all those lovely lighter fruit notes to it. And that needs to sit out for a bit. We're gonna toss a little of this in here. Just a little splash. Next, we're gonna deal with our bread. This has been poofing for a while now. We're going to give that a punch down. Need a pan with parchment. Huh? It's alerting me that my watch is disconnected from my phone. My watch is working fine. Alright, so we're going to take this out. Ooh. Needs a little convincing to get out of that bowl. We're going to chop this into 4. And if there was a drier side to it, I'd be folding the drier side into it, but this was pretty well coated with oil. So there isn't really a drier outside to it, so just draw it taut. You want to pinch it more on the board, you can. These are soft enough that I'm just going to let them sit. So drier side in. Just fold the folds in until we're pushing it in on itself. And then spacing them so that hopefully with a little time and encouragement they're going to get to know each other again, but just barely. Now, if they hang out, they're both gonna collapse a little bit, but they're gonna expand too. So hopefully they get to where they're just touching. If not, they probably will once they start baking. So far, smell on that is far superior to the flavor. It needs to open, I think. Alright, we're going to start in on our veggies now here. We gotta fix a couple of things here first, though. The stove camera is not exactly online. Every time I open the cabinet over here, it bumps the camera. Or at least a lot of the time. So over on the left-hand side of the stove, we'll get our large pan out. Because I don't have any cooking oil still. We'll go in with the olive oil. That needs to move over a bit. And I guess we gotta stay like that. Alright, going in with our onions. Salt. Because I want to give them a bunch more time, we're going to add the mushrooms in here pretty quickly. That's why I'm adding a whole bunch more oil in here with those mushrooms. Hi, broccoli. We've got, for anyone just joining in, we've got rolls doing their second poof. We got our potatoes, tomatoes, carrots, and celery chopped up, onions and mushrooms, oysters and shiitake mushrooms in the pan. And off to the right hand side on the stove is our beef in broth, or in stock, or in liquid. I'm going to start heating our oven up. Starting to get there, starting to get a little light color there. Those onions are at least starting to cook through. So many dirty bowls tonight. Let's see, am I using up the spinach tonight, or is it going in the trash? Well, you can go in the trash, and you can go in the trash. Most of you is looking okay, though. You got a few losers in there. Yeah, that'll be fine. Alright, carrots and celery going in now. It's a good plan. I mean, you can freeze the beef stew then, and I think frozen beef stew will last a lot better than frozen beef. Or frozen veggies. Turning the beef's boiling pretty hot. I forgot I had set that so it would come back up to a heat here. Let's get that back to a low bubble. And then I am going to pinsage or other words, tomato paste it. There's still another use in this thing. And we want to allow that paste to get a little cook time along with all the rest of these veggies before we add the rest of the tomato in here. Why are you so out of focus? Is your camera just dirty again? What we got here? Huh. Alright, gonna add our tomato, which is our last veggie, going into this pan. And I'm also going to cut the heat now. So we're just using residual heat and pan heat to work on those tomatoes. We'll let that sit for the moment. We're going to add some butter to it and then let it sit. We'll hit that with a touch more salt, since I only really salted the onions there, and I've gone, like, I salted the beef, but I didn't go heavy on the salt with the beef. We're already to the point where we need more water here just because I was boiling that too quick. So flame back on. And another cup of water in there. Over on the right side. Beef. Veggies. I was thinking of deglazing this pan, but that butter just loosened everything up. I'm going to strain the taters now from the water. And while we got the beef on high, we're going to add our potatoes in here and start them cooking. I think we'll be okay in 40. Come on, chat, why didn't you guess that one? It's a sauce. It's a variation on the classic Béarnaise sauce. So a hollandaise with tarragon. By adding meat glaze, a concentrated reduction of brown stock to the basic Béarnaise. So it's a beefy egg butter sauce with tarragon. Which, that was just the first answer off of Google, by the way, chat. I'm not really a big fan. It's sort of surprising because I like adding fennel to my stocks, but I am not a big fan of tarragon, and I am not a big fan of Béarnaise. Give me hollandaise instead. Or better yet, if you're going to the trouble... Well, if we're doing breakfast, hollandaise. But if we're doing some sort of dinner dish, we're doing something... You go into the trouble of making that complex of a butter sauce, give me a beurre blanc. Alright, we're going to give it 10 minutes from here. Give the rolls another 10 minutes. And give the potatoes 10 minutes. Rolls are going to take 20 minutes in the oven. I think I'm going to go for dairy coat on my rolls tonight, chat, instead of egg. If only because expensive. Just enough for coffee in the morning. Alright, turning the beef back down. Want to bubbling, but not rolling. Oops. chat can't see that. So that's cooling down a little bit now. Now I've added more butter than I need for my roux. So I'm sort of guesstimating on how much flour I want to add in here to thicken this up. And you have to consider that that liquid with the beef is going to get thickened by the potatoes as we go here too. So this is sort of a, I don't know, lucky guess. But I'm going to do a nice light coat. Yeah, I'm going to put what's in my hand in there. That's probably still going to be too much. But we can add more water. Ooh, Mike and Ike mention. So now we have our flour and butter roux in there with our veggies. So when we mix the veggies in with the beef, it'll all thicken up together. Salt on top of the rolls. Should I do sesame too, chat? They're dinner rolls. Let's not do sesame. Nice broccoli. Master Split's keeping everyone fed with emojis. Oh, hey, they can see me. Did I say hello to you? I'm just noticing that you were in chat. My apologies, that was a minute ago. Shaking my head at a local news article. I sort of feel like my town has got its own little version of Trump that's ruining the real estate in his own way, and the city is just, yes sir, what else can we do for you? Meatloaf and fried chicken would probably be on that list from what I remember available. I have no idea what else I would do if you get another redeem. This is the first time you've had me do, like, I'm pretty sure you or someone else had me do presidential dishes before. It was a long time ago. It was like over a year ago. I make an okay meatloaf. At least I think so. I've made a couple of decent meatloafs in my mind. Mac and cheese is another good one. Doesn't make for a great, like, mac and cheese, like, boil pasta, add cheese. Like, my primary way of making mac and cheese is the 3-ingredient mac and cheese. You pick your favorite cheese you want, you boil some pasta, and you melt the cheese with evaporated milk. I take it a step further and use evaporated goat milk, but mostly because I can buy the goat milk by the case. It makes for a very easy to make meal around the house if you just have dried pasta and evaporated milk of some form. And then just whatever cheese you have in the house you can turn into mac and cheese. Alright, so that timer was saying it was time to throw these buns in the oven. So say goodbye to our buns. They're going to get cooked. "20-minute timer on those. We're going to turn the heat up on our beef again. And once that's back to bubbling, we're going to add our veggies in there. Nope, no corn, they can see me. What we have here, potatoes, beef, and flavorful broth. Over here we have carrots, onion, celery, oyster mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, tomato paste, salt, pepper, butter, and flour. No, I actually used up the last of the corn in my house last stream. We could do some lamb. We could do some mutton. I actually said not to, like, I've been, like, selling legs of lamb at warehouse store. I've been tempted. I'm probably going to go on the menu here at some point in the future. We still got a couple of weeks out of stuff still planned. We have a couple of easier nights here lined up. We've got chicken with asparagus and rice. We got poached fish on Friday. And Sunday is going to be yogurt fried chicken. Doing fried chicken again, chat. It's a constant struggle. I think we're going to turn the heat up again and add more water again. Cup and a half that time. And wait for that to come up to a boil. That's at a full heat. Oh, this burner isn't... It's been my primary burner for a while. It could probably use recalibrating. I have no idea how to calibrate this. I can calibrate my ovens in my mobile kitchen. I have no clue with this thing. Though that reminds me that I'm missing a screw from those in my kitchen, and it's driving me nuts because it's a proprietary screw that I can't buy at a normal screw store. But going back, someone was asking me what I'm doing for work these days. I really like living here. I've got a pretty good living situation where I'm at here. I've been living in this house for 15 years now. And so even though I've seen rent increases, I've been living here 15 years. And so, like, I've got a lot of reasons to not want to move at the same time. So I'm sort of stuck in this sort of position of, I would love to do events. I would love to do special parties. I would love to do the occasional party, catering gig or something like that. If the situation is right, catering can be all over the place. But I'm not really up to doing that while I'm living here. And so I'm really, do I sell my trailer? Do I move? Like, I would really also love to have a place with, like, a basement or a workspace or a garage so that I don't have rodents destroying my truck. But I would never get that with Sonoma weather. I'm never going to afford property here. Nope. My rent actually just went up 5% a couple days ago. Who's messing with that? Or is that the... Really? That's the... Why you zoomed in on me like that, camera? What? You really got a mind of your own tonight, don't you? Basement just sort of comes to mind being from the Midwest, but basement, outdoor, actual shed. Like, I got a little storage shed now, but it's not really a place that I can really do a decent project in. Like, that's really what... If I'm doing any sort of project out of the norm in this house, it's either happening on this counter or on the coffee table and back, and the coffee table and back really can't handle a project. I'm actually astonished my coffee table is still holding up as well as it has. It's IKEA, and the only thing keeping the top in place are the 4 internal screws in the corner. Like, it's just a box. It doesn't have a whole ton of structural support. And I put all sorts of junk on top of that thing. Okay, we're back to a boil here. So let's add our veggies back in, or add our veggies in with our beef. So this is going to thicken everything up. We might have to add a bit more water here. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to add some more water here. one more cup of water in there. So we're about a cup and a half over what I started with there. So we got about 3.5 cups of water worth of liquid in there, I would guesstimate. I think I'm going to chop this spinach up a bit. Mostly for the stems, because I don't feel like dealing with the stems individually. I'm pretty sure the leaves would break down well enough regardless. You can see between the butter and the roux there, that's considerably glossier, and it's already a little bit thicker, but it's going to thicken up a bit more. So the plan here is the rolls needed 20 minutes. We added the veg in there with about 10 minutes, so it'll need another 10-ish minutes to cook out the roux after the rolls are out. And we'll add the spinach in then, just to finish it. So we're looking at about 16 minutes now. 17 minutes, something like that, until this is all together. Potatoes need all that time too. I know this is California Aussie, but I'm not. Scramble being sentient again. Baklava. I know I have heard that word in culinary terms. meat stuffing. Probably a different pronunciation of force meat. Like, I know sausage stuffing without being in a casing is force meat. Or sausage patties before they've been formed is horse meat. So I assume farce is... Oh, it says Google gave us definition, farce, from the French word farci, meaning stuffed, a culinary term for stuffing, particularly a meat-based stuffing. Oh, YouTube dad joke. I mean, Twitch dad joke is usually pretty good too, but YouTube usually just a little bit further. I don't know why. They come from the same source. I went and left that in the other room, didn't I? Yep, of course I did. Trying to think of things to converse about. I'm annoyed at Twitch right now. Actually, more annoyed at Amazon than I am at Twitch, but they didn't give me a 1099. Like, I qualified for all the reasons they should be giving me one, and they didn't issue me one. And to know I have a ticket open with them, it's been open since yesterday. I have a feeling I'm going to be lucky if it's answered tomorrow. Because it'll be Monday, and whatever backlog there is ahead of me. I have this sinking feeling that Amazon assumed that, okay, people below this point of earnings aren't really going to bother reporting it on their taxes. And so they just didn't bother for us unless we complain. That's what I fear. That's our bread timer. We got some rolls. Those are a little light. I want to give those a little longer. Let's give those another 4 minutes. Spinach is going to release a bunch of liquid into the stew. And so we almost want this slightly thicker than final product we want. Yeah. I wish my experience with accountants was anywhere near that. My experience with accountants is waste my money and cost me a lot more because they want to be lazy. Actually, my last well, do I really want to get into that long of a story? I don't want to get into that long of a story. Let's just say that my last experience with an accountant was a first time meeting because I had an issue that I really was unsure how to really handle. And they charged me an hour to sit there and talk to him the entire time, and he still didn't grasp what my issue was. Well, rather, they tried to charge me and I refused to pay them for what I considered to be an initial consult on what my issue was. It's not like he actually did anything for me. I mean, I understand spending in the time, but he didn't even understand what I was telling him. Accountant before that was okay. She didn't do a whole lot for me, but she didn't do anything that, like, I couldn't stand her. At the same time, she didn't really do a whole lot for me, but the one before that was the real problem one. Like, I went to him new and green with my business, asking him to help me out with my taxes and how to do this. And he just took all my taxes, delayed them for months needlessly, gave me excuses, charged me a whole bunch of extra stuff that no reason. Like, I sort of feel like the idea of an accountant is there's a percentage there you're paying into what they're saving you. This dude was just wasting my money. Okay, we got some better color on these now. got some buns. These made friends again. These didn't quite stretch. Can we talk about tipping culture in the US? I bought something online yesterday and they asked me for a tip for the staff. What? Like, it was annoying me at the point that America's gotten to, you know, every barista in America has got to survive off of tips. But now we're asking for tips for online sales. Online sales, I'm sort of like, did a person even handle this product? Alright, let's turn our oven off since we're done baking our bread. Let's add our spinach into our stew. Got myself. Taters are looking on the edge. They're just slightly grainy on the outside. Let's give you a shot. Ah! Well, maybe not you. Oh, that's nice. Welcome, Smile. I think we can cut the heat on that now. That is delicious. We're going to hit this with a touch more salt and a touch more pepper. Why not a little touch more MSG too? I don't have accent to add in there, unfortunately. Anyone curious what that's like? It's almost crystalline. You get little flakes, little long cylinders. Welcome in, Smile. We're following Eisenhower's beef stew recipe, and I've modified it. But the base of what we're doing is that. And so I have added mushrooms, but it is not part of the original dish. I added mushrooms, spinach, and wine. Wine because I'm drinking it. Spinach and mushrooms because I had them in the house to use up. So otherwise we have carrot, onion, celery, tomato paste, potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, and beef in there. We got some homemade rolls on the cutting board here. heavily enriched, so these should be nice and soft. Nice bottoms to them, not too dark on the bottom. If you have no teeth, you may want to wait a little longer on this. Maybe tomorrow. Wait for this version tomorrow. This beef is lovely, and it's going to be delicious tonight. But it's still got some... We'll see how long the stream been. Yeah, we've maybe given this 2.5 hours. Like, should be edible, but always, like I was saying, 3 hours is probably about the best. Surprised it doesn't have parsley in it. I would have assumed that time period it would have parsley in it, since parsley was all the rage in dishes at that time. Camera stopped following me again for some reason. Got a mind of its own tonight. New fashion. Yeah. Grab a couple of photos. I don't know that I'd recommend salt and pepper grinders. Salt grinders are purely show. There's no real great advantage to them. And the pepper ones, maybe you can find a good pepper one, though the reality is tried and true. Ah, there we go. Peugeot. Like, most grinders are junk. Let's see what we got here, chat. Well, that's delicious. More salt. Let's see if the beef is too chewy or... It's good. On the edge. I think pieces larger than that may be a little too chewy. But that broke up without me really chewing on it. Mostly broke up with my tongue. Pretty good. See, nice soft rolls. They've got butter and half already mixed into the dough, hence calling them enriched. Delicious. But I do think it is that time, chat. Alright, folks, I think I'm going to call it there. I shall be back tomorrow night. We're doing chicken and rice and asparagus. Great start to spring, simple Monday night dinner. Maybe I'll throw a recipe in Discord. I haven't done that for this Monday. Want to thank each and every one of you. Yes, you. Thank you for joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun. This is going to be a great dinner. You're going to enjoy this. Great theme this week, too. Thank you, Master of Splits. I hope to see you all back here tomorrow night. Good night.